Let me guess. You've tried this whole personal development thing before. You've tried books, you've tried podcasts, you've tried videos, and nothing has worked so far. You've even tried journaling and goal setting. But the reason why it hasn't worked is not because you're lazy, it's not because you haven't tried hard. It's simply because no one taught you the proper way to personal develop yourself. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 steps that you need to know to really become the best version of yourself. I'm going to ask this one thing of you though. I'm going to ask if you care about mindset, if you care about discipline, and a lot of other things that you need in order to be the person that success relies on, subscribe to this channel and also share if you like this video. All right, let's get into it. So the number one step, you want to improve something in your life, right? You're on the process to changing yourself to become the person that success can rely on. All right, so the first thing is that you have to be aware, right? Makes sense. You have to be aware that there's a problem or there's something that you would like to see change and you want to see it changed. And so the first step in order to be the person that you want to be or be the person that you know you can be is you have to be aware that there's a problem. You have to be aware that there's a better version of yourself that's waiting on you to take step. All right. So let's just take, for example, you want to lose weight or you want to build muscle. Okay. You went to the beach. Let's say you went to Miami Beach and you saw everybody out there and you saw a couple of guys or a couple of girls that had the body that you wish you had. Right. That is the number one step. It's probably the easiest step. It's just being aware of something that you want to see change, right? It happens all the time in every arena. Once you are aware of something that you want to improve upon, that's the first step in order to being a better version of yourself. Now, once you have step number one, and we talked about being aware, having the self-awareness. Number two, what do you think it is? That's right. It is desire. Do you have the desire to change? Now, I know this might sound simple, but believe it or not, there's a lot of things that people are aware about, but they just decide that they don't want to do anything with it. So you'll hear phrases like, oh, well, you'll just have to love me for me, or, it's not that big of a deal, or I got other priorities, right? So not everything that people are aware of is something that you want to change. So that's why having the desire is step number two. It's not difficult, but it is something that just naturally progresses from having that awareness. The next step is, do you have a desire to change it? Do you have a care? Because if you don't have a care, right, if you don't have any dog in that fight, if you will, then realistically, you're not going to do anything about it, right? So just being aware of something is not enough for you to see change. So once you're aware of something that you want to change, you then have to have the desire to change it, right? Those two go hand in hand almost, if you will. Okay. Those are the two easiest steps, which is probably why it's step one and step two. Step number three is easily learning a new skill, learning a new resource. All right. So you have the awareness to change something, you have the desire to change something. Okay, so now you're at the process where you're researching stuff. So that's when you're actively looking up the solutions to your problem, or maybe you're reading books or you found a podcast. Maybe some of us who like to invest in ourselves, you even went and found a coach. Okay, so you're really just diving in on the deep end on getting all the knowledge that you can about whatever topic, right? And this happens all the time. So people are aware of something, they have the desire to change it. So now they move on to the next step, which is trying to develop that skill or trying to learn about what it takes in order to, get better. And so let's just stick with our same topic that we're talking about. You want to lose weight. Okay, so now you're aware that you don't have the body that you want. You have the desire to change it, and now you're on YouTube and you're watching videos about how to lose weight or how to build that muscle group. Okay, that's what we're talking about. So now you're on step three. So congratulations, because you are farther along than most people ever get to. Okay, but it's still not 5 steps. You got to have all 5 of the steps in order to reach completion. Okay, so you might be asking, what's next, right? I have the skill or I have the knowledge, why can't I see change right now? Okay. And then that leads me to my next point, which is probably the most important point. Well, it is the most important point, and that is action. This is where a lot of people fall off the bandwagon. They don't take action. Or a lot of people have the knowledge of what to do, but doing it is another thing. And everybody knows this. Everybody can attest to it. Everybody knows they need to lose weight, or everybody knows they need to go to the gym. But going to the gym consistently, if we're sticking with our example, that's a whole nother ball game. So putting stuff into action that we actually know to do, that is the hardest part. But if you get this part, you are at least 90% ahead of everybody else who's trying to reach that same goal. So you got to take action. You have awareness, you have desire, you even learn new skills, or you got a coach, or you've read books, you've read podcasts, but if you don't take action, this is where it stops. I mean, nothing happens without taking action. Faith without works is dead. Okay, so I just really encourage y'all on this journey to improving yourself. You got to take action. If you said that you were going to read that book, if you said you were going to go to that gym, if you said that, you were going to do cardio and lose weight, you really got to take action, guys. Because if you don't, you're not going to see real progress. Some of my entrepreneurs, you said that you were going to post more this year. Come on, get in the game. What are we waiting on? Right? If you don't take action, nothing's gonna take place. All right. In order to get better at anything, you just have to practice at it, even when you're not good. Okay. Even when you're not good, you gotta practice. You gotta get those reps. Okay. And then the fifth thing is having a support. Okay. This is huge. It's not as important as action, but it is huge. And the reason why it's so huge is because a lot of people get burnt out just because they feel like they're alone, or they're doing it all by themselves. Mental health is real, y'all. I know it wasn't really a thing back in the 90s for all my 90 babies, but man, mental health is real, especially with all the technology and social media that we have out here. A lot of people kind of feel more disconnected than ever. So support is step number 5. Do you have support? Whether it's from friends, from family, a community, fellow entrepreneurs, or fellow whatever group that you're in, you have to have a community. Some people that are just rooting for you and pushing for you and holding you accountable for the things that you said that you were going to do is going to be huge for personal development. So it really just all depends what kind of space that you're in. If you're a corporate professional, right? Do you have a community group that helps you, challenge you to be better version of yourself? Are you a better manager? Do you have a coach? Do you have a mentor, somebody that can help you get to that next level? I know in the entrepreneurial space, mentorship is huge. But do you have community to help challenge you to reach that next goal, or help you stay committed when you may not feel like doing the same old things day in and day out, or week in and week out, year after year? So having a support group is huge. So with that being said, you guys got the 5 steps. I just broke it down to you in this video. I guarantee if you do these 5 steps, you'll see real change. Okay. So just to recap, you got awareness, desire, new skill, action, and then support. With those 5 things, you can do whatever you set your mind to. All right. So if this video helps you, make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. I'll have plenty more gems your way, and please share, like, comment. I'm on the journey to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I would love to have you along for this ride in this journey. All right. Until next time, stay blessed by the best, and I'll see y'all later. All right. Peace out.